I'm gonna answer some questions for you and hopefully can get you started to a better point than most from what I have seen vending at shows. I personally have been vending for almost a year and a half now, probably a little over a year and a half. I've done at least, I'd say 17 to 20 shows. So I wanna go over some of the basics that you'll need and then maybe some extras that will help set you apart from the others. But even in those basics, I'm gonna include stuff like the banner, your table cover, the cases, stuff like that, that maybe to some people may be over the top, but in my opinion, this is what you're gonna need. So let's start with the first thing. So the very first thing is your table cover. Now I know you can't see it right now, but hopefully I'll throw in some B-roll footage. But your table cover is, in my opinion, one of your more important things to stand out from everyone else. There's a lot of places now, a lot of shows that provide table covers, which is great. Some of them already have them preset on there. You can even rent them from them. But I'm gonna tell you right now, get a custom one made with your logo on it. Stand out. That is the one thing that, in my opinion, that I see among a lot of other vendors, especially beginners, they don't have anything on there, or it's just a black tablecloth, or just a sheet that they got off of their bed and they're throwing it on there. Get it done so that way you just look as professional as possible. People are more likely to come up to you and trust you and do an interaction or transaction with you if you look professional and look like a legitimate business. Even if you don't even have an LLC, whatever it may be, look the part. That's it. The next thing that we're gonna be looking at is your banner. Now, I custom made this one myself. I've done a couple of other vendors' designs as well, but it doesn't need to be anything crazy like this. This is even gonna get redesigned soon because it's just a lot going on. But get a banner. You can get them on Etsy for 80 to 100 bucks. If you want help with the design, I can help with that. You can even go onto Fiverr or other things like that in order to get a design made. Just something that has your logo, what you feature and what you're offering, maybe even say like Pokemon, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, whatever it may be, something on there that is immediately gonna attract the eyes, because the table cover can only do so much. The table cover will set you apart. The banner is what people are gonna see. I've had people multiple times come up, oh, I see that you buy, like what you're buying at, or I see that you trade, what's your trade percentage at? So this is something that will definitely catch the people's eye immediately and give them a slightly better understanding of what you offer and maybe what you can offer as far as percentages and buying and all that kind of stuff. So this is very good information for customers when they're coming to your booth. Even if it just has your logo on there, at least it stands out, they can see it. Put your socials on there, whatever you want. It allows you to not have to communicate as much to the customer about what you're offering, and they can come up to the table and know, hey, oh, I know he buys One Piece. I know he buys Pokemon, stuff like that. The next thing is your case, your display case. These right here are Amazon cases. So they come in varying sizes, multiple brands, and I say Amazon case because they're all made overseas and there's no one true brand that makes these that is a definitive brand that people are like, oh, you have a Zion case, you have a whatever brand it is case. They run about $100, somewhere around that range, maybe $90 to $110. The most common size that I have seen is 34 wide by 22 deep. So these are very, very easy to deal with. They're very lightweight. They come with a carrying handle so that you can carry them with you. I'm actually going to be making a video comparing these Zion cases and the wooden cases that maybe you've seen before that have dividers in them that are meant to display on the wall. A lot of people will use those in replacement of these or to start out with. That's what I started with. I'll show some B-roll or some clips or pictures of me from my very first shows. I had a wooden case that I had propped up. I 3D printed some little stands and they would just sit there, and I even added lights to those as well. So the other thing is with these are custom made. I did these lights myself, so you won't be able to get them with these lights, but I'll get into that into the extras part of this video. So Amazon cases, Zion cases, even the wooden display cases, any of those, just having one case at least on your table is gonna help. The next thing would be a money bag. As you've been seeing this thing kind of lighting up and doing this whole thing, I actually normally have it playing some Pokemon stuff, it's got like Snorlax and Mewtwo, stuff like that. Now this is a little bit fancy, but per example, 1 second.
6.5 hours later.
1 more second.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Carrying bags, money bags, some way to hold your money, maybe even product or something else, just something to carry in front of you, mainly for money, in my opinion. That's why I'm calling it a money bag, so that you can easily get in and out, make change, do whatever you need to do with the customer without having to fumble through other things. Now, this is my son's, was my son's. This is his old one. Very simple. I'm telling you, this was on Amazon. I kid you not, for probably $5, maybe $10. It is very cheap, very easy. Comes with multiple pockets. He can store his phone in the front, phone that I let him borrow, cash, and then any other things. Very easy, straps on, no problem. The other one that he just got is a Paragon Forge bag, which is very, very cool. You can actually stick your slab in front of it, show it off, but it comes with a lot of space on the inside. He's got money and he can even store more slabs inside. He's got, oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slabs, and 2 of them will have guards on them. All fit in here, not including this one in the front. So keep that in mind. I really suggest, just start out with this guy. Just get a cheap bag. It helps a ton just being able to do it right here versus stick it in your pocket. I used to just do everything out of my pockets. Horrible idea. You're gonna be pulling cash out, cash is gonna fall on the floor. It's a big mess. Don't do it. All right, up next is a travel case. Now this one is a slab armor travel case. It comes with TSA approved locks with the scroll dials for the numbers on here. Comes with separated sections, comes with foam dividers. This is a little bit more top of the line to an extent, but Zion also makes cases just like this that are twice as expensive, but neither here or there. But there are also other cases. I do have another case that's a little bit cheaper. I actually got it as a Christmas present. Thank you, Jana and Sam. That one is probably maybe only like $50 to $80. This guy was like $90 to $100. So something to travel with. Now, there's also another one that Paragon makes, as in the bag that I showed you earlier, that is a travel one that has a strap on it. It's actually a soft carrying case, but it is rigid. It is a lot easier that you can travel with it. So there are options like that, but anything to store all of your cards, all of your slabs inside of, something to carry them all in one piece, and maybe even 2, depending on how much inventory you have, this is a lifesaver. So definitely get a travel case or some sort of traveling carrying bag, case, something to put your inventory in. Up next is a travel wagon. Now, a foldable, collapsible wagon that you can carry everything in. I personally have 2 of them. I should be showing you some B-roll of it, but I have one that's a little bit larger and one's a little bit smaller. The little bit smaller one's the one I started out with. I was able to carry everything in that smaller one, no problem. Obviously, as things upgraded, my inventory grew. I got different cases and my cases got bigger. I needed to get a second one. Now I've been able to consolidate that back into the first, or into one with the larger one, because I'm not doing sealed product. So if you have a lot of sealed product, if you have a lot of shelving that you need to bring, stuff like that, that will depend on the wagon that you want to get. That is something that you'll need in order to get in and out of the show easier, so that way you're not fumbling through and making 5 trips just to carry everything in there. I personally, my wagon that I have right now, I think is only maybe 38 or 40 inches long by about 20 to 22 inches wide, and I can't fit everything in there when it comes to the cases, my banner, and then all my product and everything else that I bring. But I can do it in one trip because I can carry these off to the side because of the handles that they have, and I can pull the wagon with me in the other hand, and I can fit all of my product, I can fit the banner, I can fit everything except the cases inside of there very easily. So that will help a lot when it comes to going in and out of the show. Again, back to if you're doing a 2 or 3 day show, lifesaver. So definitely look into a travel wagon as an essential part of your vending. All right, last thing on the essentials list, and then we'll get into some extras. The last thing is cash. Bring some cash. You need cash. You don't need it, but I say you don't need it. I have started out shows with very minimal cash because one, you want to be able to make change. So the other aspect to that is if you're not able to make change, is the customer able to make an electronic payment? Cash is usually king, obviously. So it really depends on what you're selling and how you're trying to sell it, but bring some extra cash. It's only gonna help your situation. It's gonna make it easier for the customer to say, oh, I only have a 20. Oh, no problem, here's a couple dollars to make that $17 transaction, whatever it may be. Bring some cash. Even if it's just a bunch of ones or just some ones and fives and it's only like 50 bucks or even 20 bucks, just something. Something will help. It's better than nothing. Bring some cash. Okay, now that we've gone over all of the essentials, we are going to go over some not necessary things, but some good to-haves in case if you're really wanting to kind of step it up a notch. So the first thing is going to be a camera. Now, personally, I use an Osmo Pocket 3, and you will probably see those everywhere all over the showroom floor of whatever venue or whatever show you're going to. Very common, very popular item to use. It does exactly what it needs to. It has decent battery life. So I've had people use GoPros. I've seen people use actual DSLR or mirrorless cameras. That route, you're going to be more expensive, but it is going to look better. It's just, you're gonna need to know about cameras and how to set it up and stuff like that. The Osmo Pocket 3 is very simple as far as how you set it up. It is something that is pretty much a plug and play. Same with the GoPros. Click it, record, start going. The small little addition to this is an SD card. Now, I personally have a 1 terabyte SD card that gives me tons of time and length for footage, so I never have to worry about it running out. Outside of that, it's pretty much straightforward. It helps with security, but it also helps going back and making content, stuff like that, obviously. I like to stand out a little bit, so I like to go a little over the top. So lights. So as you can see, I have lights in here as far as each one of these cases. And I think if I'm correct, my B-roll footage that I had shown you earlier from my wooden case also has lights as well. I just like having something that's a little bit over the top compared to what everyone else has. Now, I've seen other people with lights as well. I custom did these, so I'll put a link in the description and I'll pop up a thing right here. But these, I can change the type of mode that they're in, what color they are. I can do a whole bunch of stuff with these. Now, these are really great. It took me literally maybe 5 to 10 minutes to install per case. They're very cheap. I think I got them the whole strip, which almost fit exactly how I needed to. I just had to trim a little bit. I want to say it's between $20 to $30 per roll. It could be a little bit less, could be only 15 bucks. I can't remember. It'll be on the screen. You'll see it. A power bank, depending on the items that you bring in order to charge or that need electricity, the power bank is going to be huge. I'll put some links and I'll post up some of the ones that I have bought. I have, this one is a, oh gosh, 56,800 milliamp power bank. I can't remember the brand. And then I have another one, an orange one that I use for my camera. It was only 27 bucks for the power bank. And this thing lasts a while. It's a beast. Don't get me wrong. It's a big brick, but it will last forever. It's great. I can have all of these lights going on at about medium brightness and they will last the whole show, and this thing will maybe be at 60%, maybe even 70%. So I can go 2 days in a row without even having to charge this thing and display all my lights. So earlier when I had mentioned about this, I do need a small power bank for this one. Now this one doesn't take a lot of juice. This is only like a 2700 milliamp power bank, and this thing will go 2 days on a show, no problem. It is very power efficient when it comes to this thing. So I need a lot of power. So power banks can be a necessity, but also it just depends on what you're bringing to the show and what you have on display and what actually needs electricity. All right, another thing that I kind of touched on earlier, but is again, not a necessity depending on how you have your things set up, is binders. Obviously you can get binders on Amazon. There's people that sell them on Facebook. You can get them at shows. It really just depends. But if you want to have binders out instead of having everything out on display, or you just have so much, especially in the lower end stuff, like I even have cards in here that are only $6 to $2 on either side of here, but I still want them out on display. So it's, again, personal preference, but that is something I would look into. Make sure that they are not 3-ring binders. That is a huge no-no in the TCG community. It will damage cards over time. Make sure they are I don't even know how to explain it, but 3-ring less binders. I'll pop some things up and show you some examples on Amazon and stuff like that so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. All right, another thing that again is not necessity, but can help whenever people are bringing stuff to you that want to sell or trade is a flashlight. Now, I say a flashlight, more of a UV light. So the UV portion of this, if you can see, hopefully it's not blinding you, I apologize. But mine is a UV and a flashlight. So you can do either one. I personally like it whenever people bring me stuff just to make sure I know that the condition is what they say it is. It helps a lot when it comes to that. Again, it's not a necessity. You can eyeball everything and be perfectly fine, especially even stuff that customers bring to you. As long as you're taking it out of the top loader in the sleeve and checking it, verifying it's good, you shouldn't have an issue with it. So again, just an extra nice to have essentially. All right, and the last thing I would say that is, again, a nice to have, but not necessary, because you can do this on your phone, but it does take a little bit of time, especially if you don't have good reception. I'll tell you that, that's key factor right there, is a payment QR code sign of some sort. So I just made this myself on Photoshop, and then I printed it off and I just kind of taped it to here so it doesn't come off. I will accept any 4 of these payment options. So that way you can just say, if the customer's like, do you have Venmo? Oh yeah, no problem, here, boom. They're scanning, they're off. You can start talking to another customer, dealing with something else, looking at another trade, whatever it may be. It does help a lot with time savings as far as not having to fumble through your phone, pull up the QR code, show it to them. Now you're out being able to use your phone so that they can do that in case you wanted to comp another trade or another sell or another buy, whatever it may be. This definitely does help. So that is all my basic needs for vending at a card show. Again, it may be a little over the top for some people. I get it. Some people can't afford to get a custom table cover and a custom banner right out of the gate. I totally understand. I come from a background of marketing, videography, stuff that I have understood and feel like I could do right out of the gate. So that is the main reason why I did it. But the biggest thing that I get from this is when people come and compliment my table, they compliment the lights, they ask me where my card shop is. I'm like, I don't have a card shop. Again, when I started doing this was just for fun, but I wanted to come out of the gate swinging. I wanted people to realize, hey, I'm putting the time and effort to make sure everything here looks as professional as possible so that it makes you feel like you know that you're talking to someone that is taking this very seriously. So hopefully you got some good information out of this. Hopefully you learned a couple things. Again, I'll put all the links for everything I have in the description. And by all means, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. But I will see you at the next show. Thanks, guys.